Good morning, students. Today we are continuing our discussion on the chapter Mauryan Empire. Today we will focus on the administration of Mauryan Empire. We can say on a brief note that Mauryan Empire had a smooth hand-run administration because they controlled a huge territory, a huge area. That's why they needed a proper form of administration and good rulers. And Mauryan kings were proper rulers who appointed proper officials to control certain departments. Along with that, tax was collected regularly. That's why the administration could run smoothly, and the taxes were collected from the peasants regularly and from the traders also, so that all the citizens can get proper facilities provided by the empire, and the empire could run itself smoothly. Now the provinces had separate administrative system. The central or the capital had separate administrative system directly controlled by the king, and the provinces had different official structures to be controlled so that the process can run smoothly. And most importantly, the capital city of Pataliputra was beautifully decorated and had all facilities, and this was the sign of a good empire, and it proves that how the Mauryan rulers were able to rule the Mauryan Empire. Now we will focus on the Mauryan administration in details. First of all, we can focus on that it had elaborate system of administration, and this was the first empire, and they put up a proper administrative system which could be followed by the next kingdoms or next rulers, you can understand. And they showed a proper uniformity in the administrative system, and everywhere same kind of rules and regulations were appointed. This elaborate system of administration of Mauryan Empire, especially during the time of Chandragupta Maurya, we have vivid description of that time and the administration of Chandragupta Maurya from Megasthenes and Kautilya's account respectively. Now, for this, at the center, the king was the head of the state, and he was assisted by council of ministers or Mantri Parishad. Modern day, same kind of system is followed in India. The prime minister is the actual head of the government, and to help the prime minister, there are certain ministers who are called council of ministers, and each minister had their separate departments, and they had to look after those departments, and they have to channelize those departments for the benefit of the empire. Same thing modern day also followed in our country. Different ministers we have, like we have defense minister, foreign minister, finance minister. Same, there were revenue department, security department, industry department. So in Mauryan Empire also the same structure was followed of different administrative bodies. Amatya and Mahamatyas were the top officials. They were close to the king. They were the connection between different departments of the ministry. Then Adhyaksha or superintendent, and the Srinidhata or the treasurer. Superintendent used to look after all the workings of different departments, and treasurer or Srinidhata, you can understand, they kept the records of the earnings of the state and the revenue collection, tax collection, everything. They had to keep these records, and they have to collect treasures properly. Provincial administration was, the whole empire was divided into 5 provinces, small provinces, and each provinces were divided into villages. That's why village was the small unit of the administration. For the specific villages in the Mauryan Empire, there were 3 main positions. They looked after the village. One was Gramikas, one was Grama Bhojakas, and Ayuktas. They were the main 3 officials who looked after each village, and they were the head of the village administration. Next is that army administration. You can understand a huge empire that Mauryans had. They could collect more revenues, more tax, and that's why they could pay huge amount of salary to the soldiers, and that's why they had a huge standing army. In their army they had four divisions, that foot soldiers, cavalry, elephants and chariots. Foot soldiers, you can understand, cavalry means those who carried horses, and elephants you can understand easily, chariots also. And they had a navy, that means you can understand from all the sides they were very powerful, the Mauryan empire.